The peaceful relations that began when treaties were signed eroded and have really eroded to a point of scandal as we see today. And this is, I hope this is why we're here together. Scandal that is intolerable, scandal that is hurtful and very painful, scandal that even causes death. So we still, as Indian people and the chiefs that sit here, are still reaching out to say we can help, to say we have the solutions, to say that we want to do these things for your people and our people, to say we want to save that almighty tax dollar that you complain about, so we bring down the numbers in jail. Unfortunately, today we still have Saskatchewan as the leader of incarcerating Indian people. The leader in Canada. A small province of 1 million people, we represent approximately 10%, maybe more. But you go to any of these jails, facilities, it's full of Indian people. And it's not Indian people that are working in those facilities. We're a great industry. We provide employment to union members in police uniforms, guards, and so on. We can't do this anymore. Like I mentioned, the world is watching. The world is looking at us. And I mentioned, as Doug Moen mentioned, that we did meet with the Federal Justice Minister and also the Provincial Justice Minister last Monday. And I basically told those two gentlemen that your system has really screwed up in relation to First Nations people. It's screwed up royally. Now give us a chance to fix your mess. And the chiefs of Saskatchewan are prepared to do that. And they have demonstrated in the past that they're more than willing to help bring about peace, law and order, and peaceful coexistence as was promised by them in the treaty. In 1958, the leaders hired and allowed, banned special constables to be hired in the RCMP and to have peaceful relations with their communities. That is a big effort. 1973, the Special Constable Program was born, and from there, RCMP were actually hired the special constables to work in the various communities. Then, in the early 90s, 1990, that program was absorbed into the regular forces of the RCMP. In 1993, the Federation of Saskatchewan Indian Nations signed a tripartite framework with the province of Saskatchewan and the RCMP. And this is what Doug talked about, the CTAs, Community Tripartite Agreements, 30 of them across the province. Well, they're not working. When there's a promise that the RCMP will spend 80% of their time on the community, just mingling and going about and visiting and being community police officers, well, it's not happening. Sometimes it's up to 10%, if we're lucky. This is not acceptable. We went to a meeting in Wollaston Lake last year, and the place was packed like this, elders, community members, leaders. And the sun started going down, and you could see the elders started looking at their watch, and they took off. All of the elders took off. It was very noticeable. And then the young kids came out. I found out later on that the elders were scared because they get assaulted and attacked by the young people after dark. So they go home, they don't come out till the sun comes up. This is not acceptable to your communities in the city of Saskatoon or anywhere, and certainly not acceptable to the chiefs that have to hear these pleas for help in their communities. What next? Well, we have about 28 resolutions from all of the chiefs of Saskatchewan calling for our own tribal policing system, because the system that is working right now, that is there right now, is governed by a separate authority, a separate and totally foreign police act, totally foreign structure. So what we need to do is establish that policing units. What we need to do is have some say in who polices our communities and how it's going to be policed. We must do that, and our orders, our marching orders from the chiefs of Saskatchewan, the justice units, is to design a province-wide tribal policing system, centrally commanded, and will be governed by whatever, the police commissions, maybe something similar to that, maybe a board. Because we know full well, without not being overly brutal against the existing structures, that the existing structure has failed us miserably. Current developments, Peter Valentine Band, the Northern Band, one of the probably the biggest First Nation in the province of Saskatchewan, has gone ahead developing a program preparing their people to become peace officers. Again, we ask for support for that particular effort because it's something that is needed. I think people talk about cultural sensitivity training, cross-cultural training. Well, I have worked in the federal civil service for 30 years, and we have this game of people coming in to teach me what my culture is all about and expect those people who are non-First Nations people to learn all about Indians in a three-day session. It doesn't work. For my part, just to relate my experience to you, I have to have made it my lifelong effort to learn your language, to even dress like you. You know, stuff like that. You can't learn these realities in a three-day session. So we want to be able to establish forums whereby police officers can come and train, to learn about what is the treaty, what did we promise, to learn about the traditions, to learn even our language. And hopefully that will happen. The Special Investigations Unit that has been talked about is a creation out of desperate realities. In the year 2000, we had our relatives and friends found around the Queen Elizabeth power generating station, dead, frozen to death, under very, very questionable circumstances. Not even 100 yards apart, in the same area, and the same area where Daryl Knight was dropped off. I don't believe anybody in Indian country, including myself, believe that those people walked up there. No one will ever believe that. But just because it has not been proven in court, we can't say that police did it. We cannot say that, or anybody did it. But what we know for sure is that somebody did it. And I pray to the Lord above that somebody who knows something about this will come and talk and tell what should be told. So we can start the healing process. There is still much work to be done because of these atrocities. There is a lot of work to be done. We have done our part, and I notice Mrs. Bignell still sitting here with dignity. She's done her part. 14 years asking, pleading to people in authority. And many, many other Mrs. Bignells across the country have done this. The Special Investigations Unit that I mentioned, and I remember the date that the chiefs called a meeting in Prince Albert, February 20th, 2000. And they said, we have to do something. We can't wait for governments to do something for us. So from that meeting, two things occurred. We decided to get our own funds together from the gaming trust funds. The chiefs of Saskatchewan and their band councils and membership paid for a service that our governments were not prepared to pay. $298,000 was realized from all of the bands to put together something that the government was mandated and responsible to do, and we did it. From there, the Special Investigations Unit was born. The other order that was given to me at that time, and we invited senior officers of the RCMP, and they stood there, and each of the chiefs, 19 of them, pointed to those men and said, we don't trust you people. You cannot be investigating your own. You can't investigate each other. The blue veil does exist. You cannot rat on your comrade. We understand that and we appreciate that. So from there, the chiefs had told me clearly that there has to be an independent body to investigate those police officers who choose to be Rambos, just to use a friendly word. Because, my friends, I do believe the majority of those people in uniform are honorable men and women who want to do their jobs. We believe that. But this is why I'm calling all parties, including police officers, to come with us and let's set this record straight, because, like last night, what somebody said, police are the reflection of the community. I tend to believe that. And if I was a police officer, and if one of my colleagues was doing things like dropping off people who has been proven without any reasonable doubt that people have been dropped off. When we know this, we should now get together and try and set the record straight and do things properly. Oliver Williams, who is a member of the RCMP for 24 years and a police chief for several years, came here. And I always remember the words he said, if I had not come here to see the things that are happening to Indian people, I would have never believed it. The indifference of communities is unacceptable. The indifference out there kills people. The silent majority has to get off their couch and armchairs and comfortable two-car garage realities and say something has to be done. The silent majority will have to get out and say enough already.